Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we thank you very much for tuning in, whether you are on Facebook, on EQUUS TV, on the Sky 97.3, or on multiple podcasts that we air on. We are very, very grateful that you tune in. We've got a great lineup for you. We've got a very interesting topic with Dr. Melissa Prell from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, who gave us an amazing tour of the Advanced Facility Centre, and we're going to learn about EQUUS. We've also got barrel racing adventures with Sandi Brandli. I wish I had a last name that rhymed with my first name. And an exciting new CBD product with Dr. Nathalie Solomon. And the best equine treadmill ever with Serena Hickson from Equine Therapy International. So, a great lineup. The first thing I want to do is thank a very, very dear friend and a wonderful professional who we absolutely adore. He's a superhero, and that would be Pat Myers.
Whoop, whoop.
From Pat Myers Electric. He came in last week and hopefully you're tuned in, and he co-hosted with Dancing Pete Rhoda while I was out and could not have possibly been here. And we think he's a Power Ranger, don't we?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he sure is. So if you don't have arena lighting and you want arena lighting, there's no better than Pat Myers Electric to brighten things up for you.
And if you want your barn inspected for electricity, it's a free inspection. No problem if you don't want it, but he'll let you know what things he would do different so that protects your horses.
Keep your horses safe. So brighten up your arena, keep things safe on the farm with Pat Myers Electric. And he's a horseman, so's his wife. And so you've got knowledgeable people on your farm that you don't have to be concerned about too. Starting off with some news and events this past week. Wonderful way to be appreciated at 2 locations at Larson Farms. That was a good time from all, from our farm to
finest
yours.
alfalfa.
That's right, you can't say it without that, can you? Since 1883. And I had a good time people being appreciated. I had several of my friends tell me they went in and actually ran into Mr. Larson himself, and how welcoming and pleased he was to see them. So hats off to Larson Farms for a great job.
I ran into his son and his grandson, one of the twins.
I met his daughter.
Okay.
And I was just talking to Richard about how I had the best dad ever, and then he introduced me to his daughter, and I said, well, that is a close second. Because Mr. Larson certainly is that. So, and happy birthday to, this is your favourite last name to say, Pete. Happy birthday to Andrew Van Langendonk, a great horseman and the general manager of Epic. Happy birthday to Andrew. He's a wonderful guy, a great general manager, an amazing horseman. His family have raised and trained some incredible horses from Summerfield Sales here that have made it to some of the top races in the country, including quite recently White Abarrio, who was one of their grads. So happy birthday, Andrew. We love you to bits. You're an amazing chap. Listen,
Corona.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but we've had some warmer weather, starting to see the flies back. I was with my Mustang the other day, had to get my Piranha out and spray him down because there were some flies.
Mosquitoes are starting to
return. So Now would be a really, really good time to get your Spraymaster system set up in your barn. You can go to Piranha's website and check out what they have. Their systems are amazing. You can have it set so the timer goes off whenever you have many increments of time that you want that to go off throughout the day, and keep those pesky, nasty, disease-carrying bugs away from your horses. And perfect time to do this is like late winter, early spring, so you're up and running in time for the summer because it comes back fast here in Florida. Hey, shout out for Seminole Feed Stores and Smash Wraps. There's nothing we love more than seeing both CEP partners and Horse Talk Show partners partnering up with one another. Yes, and what a beautiful job. We've recently seen the building and trailer wraps that Larson Farms has had done, just amazing, also by Smash Wraps. But Seminole Feed has also done an absolutely beautiful job on these trailers with that partnership with Smash Wraps. So if you want your vehicle or your horse trailer or your entire building wrapped, Smash Wraps can do the design work and bring everything to completion looking quite beautiful, just like this. So quite impressed with that. Incredible job there. Well done. So honk your horn if you see that around town. Hey, this is great news. We have been sharing with you for the last few weeks the exciting news that Ocala Dog Ranch, for the first time ever, is going to be at Live Oak International this year. And that is exciting stuff. That is another partnership between two CEP partners that have come together. And as I always say, if you have a horse, you probably have a dog or two. And dock diving is incredible to watch, loads of fun. The dogs love it. And they are going to have dock diving at Live Oak International.
Which, one more thing to watch.
I know, that's great, because this year, of course, we've got Budweiser Clydesdales are going to be there, which is amazing. Of course, there's always the Grand Prix jumping and the phenomenal driving that they do. So now adding dogs to that from the Ocala Dog Ranch.
If you're going to compete in this event with Ocala Dog Ranch, you have to get registered by March 7th.
Because then you get free
you get
tickets.
in free.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is even a plus.
That's like a total win-win, right?
That's right.
That's incredible.
So you get your dog, you get have fun, and you get in free to Live Oak.
Yeah, good stuff. Listen, we've discussed this a couple of times, and we're going to keep bringing this to your attention. We are against decoupling. And decoupling is something that we do not want to have happen in Florida. And
decoupling is the horse racing and the gambling separating.
Separated, right. And of course the gambling, the casino, is what helps to support the sport of horse racing. And this would be a huge threat to a $4.3 billion industry in Marion County, which is horses. And this is a world-renowned area, legacy here for so many of the top horses, as I mentioned earlier, are grads of the farms here in this area in those races. And so we don't want this to happen. There is a link that you can click. If you find decoupling online, you can just Google it, and you can actually find a link where you can actually sign the petition against decoupling. And hundreds and thousands of us have already done that. So if you have not signed that petition, please do it online ASAP, because that is something that we do not want to see happen here. It is almost International Women's Day, which is actually on March 8th, but the celebration is on March 7th, 11:30 to 1 at the C.F. Klein Center. I am honored to have been nominated, as the theme this year is honoring equine. Woohoo! So that is the theme, and we're very, very excited that they've never done equine before. And when Manal Fakori first reached out to me and said, "Will you please help us? What do we do?" I was just excited that that's what they were going to feature. So really, really wonderful event. It happens every year. So you can get your tickets Friday, March the 7th at the C.F. Klein Center.
And Jenna is getting an award, I believe.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Good for her. That's fantastic. The Children's Charity Classic was absolutely amazing. I was not able to be there as I had a service to go to down south, but the team were there, and it was a wonderful, wonderful event, very, very successful. Hats off to United Way for their efforts. It was phenomenal the way they put the junior, amateur, and professional rider all in costume to match the theme of the book that was selected for them. and $100,000 was raised for 10 children's charities in and around Marion County. United Way did an amazing job. Their team did an absolute phenomenal job. Tickets sold out for that event, and that was at HITS. And we're very grateful to HCA, Florida Hospital, for their wonderful sponsorship and all the other sponsors that got involved.
And this is going to be an annual thing?
It sure is. It'll be even bigger next time. So wonderful. Well done, United Way and all involved. Wrapping it up, coming back with Dr. Melissa Prell from Peterson Smith talking ICSI. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of the first half of the Horse Talk Show, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our television broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms. Also, thank you to our supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha Animal Health, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, Ocala Dog Ranch, Wide Automotive, and Reach Video Production. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. At Florida HVAC Services, air conditioning is a mathematical process. There's no guessing in what size unit your home needs. Florida HVAC Services uses manual J-heat load calculations in diagnosing to guarantee your home is sized properly to control humidity and temperature, thus providing comfort all year round. With flat rate pricing, trained experts, and total peace of mind. For more information, go to flhvacservices.com. They are the air you breathe. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative, and we are visiting Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care's Advanced Facility Center in Summerfield in Ocala, Florida. We are chatting to Dr. Melissa Prell, who is in charge of all of this amazing facility that is absolutely full service for all reproductive needs for your horses. And we're now going to talk about something I'm not even going to try to say. I'm going with the abbreviation here of ICSI, Dr. Prell.
Yeah, so it is a mouthful, and that's why we use the abbreviation for it. So ICSI stands for intracytoplasmic sperm injection.
I would have messed that up.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Like I said, ICSI is better for sure. But just kind of a rundown on what that is.
Yeah, starting kind of with one thing I saw is how important it was that you made sure that the mare was pain-free, comfortable, relaxed.
Yeah.
And then kind of starting from there to the catheter point and all of that. Just kind of take us through the steps.
Yeah, so it starts with identifying when the mare is going to be a good candidate. We do that through serial ultrasounds. Sometimes we'll get them coming in for an appointment and they're ready to go. Other times it's just a little bit of a waiting game, catching them on the right trajectory of those hormones that kind of stimulate follicular growth. Because at the end of the day, we want them to have as many follicles as possible before we go in and do the aspiration. So, we'll bring the mare in. She'll get a little bit of sedation just to kind of take the edge off, make her nice and relaxed. We place a urinary catheter as well to void the urine from the bladder. It makes the visual better on the ultrasound, and it makes it a little bit easier to manipulate the reproductive tract. The mare will also get an epidural as well. And again, that's to just kind of keep her nice and comfortable through the aspiration process. And by aspiration, all I mean is it'll be called also ovum pickup or transvaginal follicle aspiration. And essentially what we're doing is we place an ultrasound probe through the vagina, and then we'll go in rectally, locate the ovaries, and kind of place them against the abdominal side of the vaginal wall. And then the ultrasound will be in the vaginal portion.
So the actual needle goes through
the wall of the vagina.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then directly into the ovary and into each follicle. So we're going into each follicle, aspirating the fluid and scraping the wall of the follicle to recover the oocyte or egg that resides in the wall of the follicle. And we'll rinse out each follicle several times with a special aspiration media. Then we'll take that media back into the lab, filter it out, and then search for the oocytes that we would have recovered. So then from that step, they would need to mature. So they go into an incubator for a period of time so that they're capable of undergoing fertilization. And once we see what matures, we'll go ahead and do the ICSI or intracytoplasmic sperm injection, where we take one single sperm and inject that into the oocyte or egg. Then from that stage, it will go into another incubator where it will stay for a week. That duration of time is all the embryo needs to become a transferable blastocyst. So there's a window of time that we're looking, so 7 to 10 days after injection. At any one of those days, we can have a blastocyst that's ready to be either transferred, or we can cryopreserve them for use at a later date as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So the average horse, when you do this procedure, the average horse you hope to have, how many would you hope to have out of that procedure?
Yeah. So when looking at the OPU or aspiration session, on average, we get about 12 oocytes per aspiration session. And then once we take it to the lab, it matures, we inject. Our average here for blastocysts produced per OPU session is 2.1. That's going to be an average, right? So you're going to have some mares. We had one mare give us 13. And then
good mare.
So, yeah, it's a good mare. And then we have some mares that will give us 0, right? So when you average it out, you're going to be somewhere in the middle. And it's important to note that sometimes it will take a couple aspiration sessions just because of that average to get you a transferable blastocyst. So, like I said, every ICSI lab will have their own blast produced per OPU number. So, it's important to look at that to kind of gauge, what your chances are.
It's amazing.
Going into it.
It's incredible. And if you only want one, and you have more, you can freeze those.
You can freeze them.
For indefinitely, you can freeze those.
Yep.
So that's amazing too. Like if you only want to handle one situation,
exactly.
you've got more for the future, right?
Exactly. So it makes it possible to freeze bank. We get calls from people that they want to freeze the eggs, right? In the horse, we cannot freeze eggs. The technology is not that far along, so we do have to go through all the steps to do the injections and actually get an embryo that we can freeze.
Good point.
So it's we'll need semen organized. We'll need all of that in place so that we can do the whole procedure. So it's not possible to just freeze the eggs, but that gives you a chance, by freezing, to freeze bank the genetics.
Right.
Especially
if you have an older mare or a mare that might have some health issues, you don't know how long she's going to be around.
Exactly.
And you want to make sure you can have some of her babies, right?
You can definitely freeze bank just like you would do with a stallion. You freeze bank the semen. In the unfortunate event that you lose your mare unexpectedly, we can still do ICSI. So we will go in, harvest the ovaries, scrape the ovaries, recover oocytes, and then do the ICSI process with that as a last-ditch effort to preserve those genetics. So it's also another opportunity, right? The mare has passed. You can't breed her for that one last chance. But through doing the assisted reproductive techniques like ICSI, you have at least one more chance to try and get an embryo.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Any last things that you kind of want to add to the ICSI? I think I just want to reiterate the fact that in Florida, Peterson-Smith Equine Hospital is the only place with the on-site lab that you don't have to ship out to.
Correct.
And as we saw, we went straight from there to the lab, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Incredible.
So there's definitely fewer variables that you're dealing with when it comes to this whole process. We've been around for a long time. EQUUS is our partnership that we have between Peterson-Smith and Avantea, which is world-renowned leaders in assisted reproductive techniques and ICSI for the horse. They are really involved in conservation as well with endangered species, so the white rhino. So we formed a partnership with Peterson-Smith and Avantea to create EQUUS, which is our ICSI company here. So we utilize the technology that is tried and true from Avantea and our manpower to bring those two worlds together and make it happen. Yeah, so it's a proven technique, proven technology. And we've been able to bring it to Florida and have really good success with it.
Must be amazing when you see those foals born and
you
know the role you played.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Melissa Prell, thank you so much for having us here at the Advanced Fertility Center. It's really been amazing learning about ICSI. So we appreciate you. Phenomenal job. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of the first half of the Horse Talk Show, Peterson-Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our television broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms. Also, thank you to our supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha Animal Health, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, Ocala Dog Ranch, Wide Automotive, and Reach Video Production.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson-Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson-Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson-Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have a special guest here in the studio joining us, Sandi Brandli. Sandi.
Hi.
It's lovely to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, Betsy said, what, 24 times or 28 times?
24.
24 times.
To the Great Lakes Circuit Finals in the upper Midwest.
In barrel racing.
Pro Rodeo, yes. WPRA, Women's Professional Rodeo Association. I've been a member since 83. So a long time, 42 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 42
You don't
years.
look a day over
42
30.
years.
How is that possible?
Well, I have an anniversary with my husband next month, and that's 45 years.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
So barrel racing must be good for you.
Well, it keeps you in shape.
That does that,
if
right?
you want to be good at it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy being good at something, so.
And are you still racing?
Yes. I've been,
Oh, you should see her.
I've been at the rodeos this week. Well, one of them. I missed the other one. But, yeah, I didn't account for the traffic and stuff on 75.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I've been doing the local barrel races here in Ocala area, and my horse has been doing real well. He's won, I think, about 3,000 in the last 2 weeks. Just
Not too bad.
At the local stuff, yeah.
So how did you get into horses?
My mom was raised in Chicago and moved into Wisconsin, and she had horses, and they just, I ended up with them, and that was my sanity my whole life, was my horses when I was a kid. So didn't have much,
Keeps
but
the soul sane as kids. I really think.
It really does, yeah. I wouldn't have survived without my horses. When I met my husband, I told him, I can get along without a man, but I have to have my horses, so.
Yeah, so get your priorities right from
I
the
told
start.
him right away.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you did your first barrel race?
8. I used to ride to a local horse show about 5 miles away, and then I'd ride home at night on a little black pony from the Amish. Yeah. Well,
So you were brave all along.
Well, back then, I guess they didn't worry about their kids as much because I showed up at home eventually.
No, you're right, because my parents would leave me at the pub and early in the morning to chase the fox hunt on my pony all day long and pick me back up at dark.
Yeah.
You would never do that now, and I probably was 7.
I would ride all day with my horses just to, be gone. My
It
girlfriend.
was a
and I,
different
'cause-
life,
yeah.
different world.
So there's some listeners that don't know what barrel racing is. So could you explain?
It's can chasing.
Can chasing. You just learned that.
I did. I just learned they
So
call it
could
can
you
chasing.
could you explain the rules?
It's simple, pretty simple. It's a speed event, and the crowd really loves it at the rodeos because they can understand it. The fastest time wins, and you have to keep the barrels up. You can touch them, you can bump them, but you have to keep them up. It's either 1 right and 2 lefts, or 1 left and 2 rights. It's a cloverleaf pattern. It's pretty simple, and the crowd at all the rodeos really enjoy it. I do a lot of jackpots too, but the rodeos has always been where I've competed a lot, and I train a lot of horses. So I've trained and sold a lot of horses that compete out in the rodeo circuit. Wow. I enjoy that, and I enjoy helping kids too. I help a lot of girls get started in the rodeos, make the circuit finals on different horses I've helped either get for them or made for them. And yeah, I enjoy all parts of it. I'm not used to doing this. I'm not that much about talking about myself or anything.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Well, it's
just really like a chat in the living room.
I know, and I never need to push myself. I just enjoy helping others.
That's nice.
I mean, I like doing well, but I don't need to talk about it.
Well, today you're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Because you never know, there might be some people out there interested in learning more.
Yeah.
So that's often the way. So what do you think is the most challenging thing about barrel racing?
At this age, probably keeping fit enough to do it. Because I have, I'm beating a lot of kids that are younger and staying on my horse. Which when I come out, if I'm still on my horse, I'm happy. But because I'm 64 this year. Or no, I'm 64 right now, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not young at it, but so staying fit and then having good horses. Over the years, I've figured out what works for me, but I end up with all different styles of horses. And then when someone comes along that I think fits them, I'll sell them eventually if they beg me enough times. I don't really like to sell them anymore, not very often anyhow.
You like to hang on.
It takes so long, and at this age, like my good horse, every time I post a run, somebody messages me and wants to buy him, and I'm like, I don't really want to sell them. So
you buy quarter horses for our listeners, mostly quarter horses.
Quarter horses are paints and appendix bred. Appendix is quarter horse and thoroughbred.
Right.
Most of mine are appendix usually. I love the feel of them. My horse is by John Fame and out of a Frenchman's Boogie mare, my good horse right now. But yeah, I enjoy.
And how many do you usually have?
I have 6 horses right now. I have 2 3-year-olds at home that I broke out one last summer, and I got a friend of mine to break the other one out. And then I have 3 with me, a 7, an 8, and 9-year-old. And then I left one 9-year-old at home that's rehabbing. He had a
When
little
you say
bitty.
break out, you mean?
Oh, I broke him out. I sent you a picture of me in the water with him. That was my 2-year-old I broke out last summer on his 10th ride. I usually don't break him out myself anymore, but this one was going to be pretty gentle. And then the other one I wasn't sure of because he was my good horse's full brother. So I let one of my young kids, Stevie, break him out for me, a young man that I've helped, Stevie Asterian.
So what about a great adventure? I'm sure a lot of it is great adventures.
Well, a lot of my adventures back in the day were Miss Betsy
with
over
Betsy Bivacqua from Larson Farms. And I'm going to tell you what, if you want to have an adventure, Betsy's the one to do it with. We have a little joke about how I'm the instigator and she's the enabler. And I've ordered T-shirts that say the same. So, because I think we need them, because that's the way it goes. You know, you've got to have a good enabler.
Well, and you got to have good support system. You know, Betsy's there when I need help with my horses and talking through. I've got a wonderful husband for a long time, Robert Brandli, that he's my support system. And if you don't have that, and good friends, Lori Smedberg and her kids are my godchildren because I don't have any children of my own. But I seem to end up with everybody else's children. I can't tell you how many girls that I've helped and mentored. That's
awesome.
I don't
really getting
need
that
my
next generation is
So
wonderful.
do you have anybody that you've mentored that has gone big?
Well, several that I've helped a little bit or sold a horse to almost made the NFR. 2 that I know of that have helped just about made the NFR. But
National Finals Rodeo for those.
Yes,
that's the big one.
The big one.
Going to that this
I've
year.
had a lot of good horses out there winning in the circuit and out and about. I'm not big time like some of the girls. I don't really care about that. I'm here for 2 months and then I'm going to go home and be home for a little while with my husband and the dogs and the horses, and then I'll go and do some events and then I'll come back home. I like being home anymore.
How far do you go out now?
My circuit, I'll stay in my circuit. I made my circuit finals last year and I went to 30 rodeos, I think. And so my circuit is 9 states. But then we co-approve 9 states. So it's really 18 states the Great Lakes Circuit is. So it's all the way to Missouri, all the way over to Kentucky, all the way up to Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa. It's a big circuit. So to drive the Bomar circuit is 10 hours.
Well, we have some goodies for you from the Green Pharmacist, and that's green with an E on the end. And since you told us how old you are,
Oh, I need that.
Yeah. Since you said you were 64, and I still don't think I believe you, and you're doing that much barrel racing, this is an amazing roll-on that I'm going to tell you, it's like instant relief. This is incredible. So, yeah, you can just roll that on what ails you.
Betsy and I will be using that.
Yes, yes. And then there's a balm. There's a bath balm in here that you can also relax in the tub with.
That's awesome.
So,
thank you.
yeah, so goodies in there from Dr. Nathalie Solomon
Thank
for
you so much.
And you delivered these, so you definitely deserve one. It's your TT brush. This is Amy Gray Baker that puts these logos on, but you guys picked it up, so you should definitely travel with that. Take photos everywhere.
Take photos everywhere.
Yeah,
you go.
and then
I can
goodies
do that.
from Piranha, nice travel size goodies from Piranha. So
My favorite
yes, and
fly
this
spread.
owed away in here, and a coupon, and all kinds of goodies for you.
Do you have hay in there from Larson Farms?
No, but I do on the floor.
I was already there today, and I've seen Richard, and they have the best hay. My horses, they excel down here.
There's no better.
They have really good hay, and they just, I don't feed a lot of supplements and stuff. I feed them good hay and some decent grain, and hardly any supplements, and I don't do a lot of therapy on them either. I keep them well injected with Outlaw. Outlaw Equine is my favorite. Dr. Nate.
Good hay.
Yeah.
Good hay. Oh, we got to go. Sandy, we got to wrap up. We're at the end of the segment. You learned a lot about barrel racing. Coming back with Dr. Nathalie Solomon with us. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy. Find new roads.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. DAC, it makes a world of difference. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. Get noticed with eye-catching vehicle wraps that showcase your brand's identity and earn you more business. If you're looking for a custom-designed vinyl wrap for horse trailers, box trucks, cars, or pickup trucks, for a single fleet vehicle, or for 100, no job is too big for the Smash Wraps team. Make your appointment to set your business apart today. Find us on social media or at smashwraps.com. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
This show is brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now, here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton! She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
I'm Tick Maynard, and you're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have Dr. Nathalie Solomon joining us, the green pharmacist, and we're very excited to have her back. We haven't had you with us for a bit, but, you know, we show you off even when you're not here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You are a horse person.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit of your background.
So I've had horses since I was 9-10 years old. My grandfather used to take me to ride, and you know, before you know it, they said I had the blood of horses, and it was it. It was game over. So I've had horses ever since, and got into team roping when I was 15 years old, where I boarded my horse. They practiced every Tuesday and Thursday, and that kind of, you know, developed my passion for team roping and, you know, quarter horses, cowbred horses. So just been doing it ever since. And I went to pharmacy school because I worked as a pharmacy technician and mentored through that. And, you know, I wanted to combine both of the passions of horses with my profession. So that is why the Green Pharmacist kind of started with EQUUS.
Making horses and people feel better now.
Yes.
Which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Now, you have your own lab, licensed lab on your farm. Mm-hmm. I think that, to me, is such a huge selling point on your products over other products, because there is absolutely no doubt about what's in your products. Mm-hmm. They're independently tested outside of your lab, so we know they're good. And I love the fact that, no offense to foreign countries, I'm from one, but but it's nice to know that it's made in America, in the USA, and made right here in the horse capital of the world.
Yes, it is, and it's all hemp that's indoor grown here, actually out of Jacksonville. And, you know, it comes to me already third-party tested, ready for compounding and manufacturing. And then once a batch is made, we send out a sample of that batch to get tested again, just to make sure there's uniform procedures being followed. You know, we follow all good manufacturing practices. and want to make sure that every product leaves is consistent and the same. So
I think that to me is absolutely, without a doubt, the most comforting feeling, that you know what you're either using yourself or giving to your animals, dogs, horses, or and even the bath bomb.
The bath bomb.
The bath bomb, yes.
Yes.
So we're excited because you have a new product.
Yes, I do. So it's a new product, but it's actually a formulation that already exists. My best formulation is EQUUS Relief. It's a feed-through supplement that targets inflammation in gut, and a lot of horses that have issues with inflammation, whether it's something chronic or acute or due to their profession, whatever it may be, it really helps with, keeping that inflammation down and keeping your horse as sound as possible. So I wanted to formulate the same CBG or cannabigerol ingredient into a sublingual paste.
So like this.
So this is what this is, and it looks like bute paste. It's administered just like bute paste. And its idea is to target inflammation for acute cases or on the go or in need crisis whenever you need it. And it's a concentrated dose of CBG. So it's 100 milligrams per ml. There's 30 mLs or 30 doses in each of these syringes, and you can use it every 4 to 6 hours. And it's going to help with pain, inflammation, any kind of gut discomfort, or if you want to be proactive, if you know you're putting your horse in a situation where they may be struggling with inflammation, this is also another way to be proactive. And it's apple flavored, has a great consistency.
I was going to ask you about that because a lot of horses don't like butte.
I know Pete would like to try it, so why don't we give him a little CC? It's totally safe. There's nothing in here that would not. And you tell us what you think.
You want to hold my gum?
Try it.
While he does that, I'm going to talk a little bit about sublingual administration. So, CBD is a very bulky molecule or
tastes
anything.
like candy.
Yeah, it tastes good. And
yeah.
It's all natural.
That's nice.
Wow, my leg's feeling good.
That's right. You're not crippled anymore, are you?
That's right.
So, sublingual administration is great because with paste, it's thicker. It's going to stay in that oral cavity a lot longer, and then through the cheek and through the tongue, there's a lot of vascular there, and you can administer any kind of substance a lot easier through the mouth. So we can get closer to the bloodstream in a quicker and a longer fashion. So CBD, again, is very, very hard to absorb into the blood. So these little things like dosage forms, liquids, things like that will help increase what we call bioavailability. So how much active ingredient gets into the actual system of horse, person, whoever. So sublingual administration is superior to oral administration. So that's why we use the paste to kind of slow down it from being swallowed and going into the gut. This allows some mucosal and sublingual administration and absorption.
So it's good to have them keep it in their mouth before they
and
swallow
mess with it. Yeah, you'll see them. It'll just like when you worm a horse. It's kind of like it's in there for a while. Well, it's the same
That's
idea.
awesome.
Yeah,
because that's how I deworm. I don't like to stick it down the back of their throat. I like to put it on their tongue and then they lap it up. So
exactly.
This will be perfect.
Exactly.
Now, if you have a horse that's on one of your daily doses, is this something you can do in addition, or would you swap out?
No, you can do it in addition. Usually, this is not practical for daily use. So I would suggest a supplement if you feel like you have more of a chronic situation. But it can be used together, or if you have a situation.
For
laminitis especially. If you have your horse on something for laminitis prevention and maintenance, and they're having a little bit of an exacerbation, absolutely use this. It's good for their gut. It's not going to hurt their gut. Other anti-inflammatories, Banamine, Bute, and so forth are really hard on the kidneys and the gut. This is absolutely safe and actually will take inflammation out of the gut. So if you are administering other medications due to whatever situation, you're actually going to create a more, an easier gut system for all those medications to be transferred over.
So where do we get it? Because I want a couple tubes now.
It should be carried with OBS and Seminole, TNT, and Green Gates. Yeah, those are the four. Yeah, OBS, Seminole, TT, Green Gates.
And can you get it on your
and my website?
On your website too.
And yes, it'll be available here. We're waiting on the labels to be finalized, and they should be in by
So this
beginning
is
of
new.
March. Yeah,
This
yeah,
is exciting.
It is new. So, it's been kind of, I take like 6 months to a year of testing, handing it out to friends, manipulating it before I finalize the labeling. And then, so we're finally there, and I'm having them printed, so.
And the website,
we gotta be friends.
The website
Yes.
for listeners, not watchers. We've always got to remember our listeners because that's a big audience. So the website is?
thegreenpharmacist.com.
And that is green with an E
at
on
the
the end, by the way, when you're looking for that. So I don't think there's anything to me as a horse owner more comforting than the fact that you are a doctor of pharmacy and that the lab is on your farm right here in Ocala, licensed, and everything you do is checked and checked again. That to me...
And in England, what do they call a pharmacist? Isn't it chemist?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So there
Taking
you
me
go.
back a bit. Yeah,
There
a
you
chemist.
go, yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's amazing. That's incredible. And I think every time you come out with another product, it's months and months that you put in, as you mentioned, to making sure that it's the best it can be. So
yes,
we love that about
absolutely.
you. And a horse person yourself. It's amazing. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you
Solomon.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Make sure you get yours. I know I'm going to try it out on Frosty. So Anne, if you're watching, coming soon.
Piranha bag.
Oh, piranha bag. Yes. You're getting a piranha bag full of goodies.
I love piranha. It's
and
my
a brush.
favorite. I love that brush.
Yes, I know. The brush is good too, right?
love my brush.
But yeah, all your goodies
Thank
are in
you.
here.
I appreciate it.
Yes, enjoy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Dr. Nathalie Solomon. Coming right back, we have Equine Therapy International and the best horse treadmill you've ever seen in your life. So stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of the second half of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet. And our television broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms. Thank you also to our supporting sponsors, Equine Performance Innovative Center, TT Distributors, EQUUS of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, The Green Pharmacist, Horse Vans, Royal Blessing Rescue, and MV Equestrian LLC. The team of professionals at EQUUS of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing. EQUUS of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed.
Oh, piranha.
Enhance your horse's performance, fitness, strength, and rehabilitation with state-of-the-art equipment. ETI treadmills offer the finest European engineering, the highest quality filtration, and no chemicals are required. Follow Equine Therapy International on social media or at equinetherapyint.com. Equine Therapy International provides technologically advanced therapy for horses worldwide.
My name is Dr. Nathalie Solomon. I formulated EQUUGREEN with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how EQUUGREEN came to life. EQUUGREEN, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Louisa Barton here with the Horse Talk Show and the EQUUS Television Network, and we are at the AAEP Conference and Trade Show visiting Serena Hickson here at Equine Therapy International. And I've really enjoyed chatting with her, getting to know her, having a little bit of English chocolate, I do admit, which was an extra treat. But we're going to learn a little bit now about Equine Therapy International treadmill, which, as you can see behind me, a horse enjoying himself here. Serena, thank you so much for being with us. Tell us a little bit about Equine Therapy International, about the treadmill, and kind of the differences that we see. I've seen one of these up close and in person with a horse in it, and found it to be very sturdy, professional and impressive. Share with us a little bit.
So we've been building the treadmills for nearly 20 years now. So we have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about how horses work, how, the mechanics and how to build them for safety and to get the best results with the horses. They come from Germany, and they are typically German engineered and German quality, so they're built to last. And the treadmills that were originally built are still in operation now. We've sold a couple of second-hand ones, which I think over the last couple of years, we sold a 14-year-old one and a 12-year-old one.
Wow.
They look a little bit older. They don't have the transparent sides like they do now, but they come up and
they're sturdy enough to last.
They're sturdy and they are built to last, yeah. So longevity is definitely something to bear in mind. They are very sturdy. The treadmills, as I say, they're built for safety in mind. They were designed alongside a vet who's worked with the treadmills for nearly 30 years. So again, a lot of experience. He comes and he spends 2 days with each client that buys the treadmills and does all the training, because training is important.
Yeah.
You can work horses incorrectly in treadmills and do damage. So you don't want to do that. So the training and how to work horses is really, really important to us. So the safety features in here, which are slightly different to some other treadmills on the market. We don't have a barrier in front or behind, so the horses can work just being held by the operators. They can really work through and work using their front end and their back end, using their whole body to work over their back and engage their core strength. We have buffers behind the horse rather than the bars, again for safety reasons. And the other thing is the sides of the treadmill go right down to the sides of the ramp, so the horses don't click their hooves onto the sides of the triangles that you sometimes see. And there's plenty of space for the horses to really move well in the treadmill.
I felt it was very roomy when I saw it.
Yeah.
Like it had a 1,200, 1,300 pound animal, didn't have any problem whatsoever in it as far as space.
Yeah. So they're very good treadmills. They're very, very reliable treadmills. The filtration is excellent. So if it's down to management. Again, we train on the management. The customers have to manage it correctly, but there's no excuse for dirty water.
No.
So the water is clean, and the horses are trained to work correctly in it.
And the filtration is so important, because if you put an animal in one that doesn't have proper filtration, you do run risks of things, skin infections and things like that, obviously. So it's very important that is meticulous.
Yeah. We don't use chemicals in there, but we do have anti or sterilization devices on the treadmill. So there shouldn't be any bacteria in the water, and there's also no chemicals, so you're not getting the smell from the chemicals, and you're not getting the chemicals on the legs either, which is really important.
That's nice, because that pungent smell of
exactly.
Yes, it's not
good for the respiratory
system.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is much more of a holistic approach.
Yes. Yeah.
Safe, but at the same time not using those chemicals on your horse, which is fantastic as far as treatment goes.
Yeah.
So for the treadmill, we're talking about horses maybe recovering from an injury, or horses that need conditioning, horses that are just trying to get fit with less impact, obviously. Lots of reasons for these. Lots of reasons for these. There's therapy, conditioning, exercise.
All of those reasons. And originally, 15, 20 years ago, they were only for rehab, and now people are seeing the results from using them for rehab on their horses, using it as part of their training program. So really good for building up core strength, helping the horse to work evenly and within a rhythm on the belt, keeping the horse straight, but really building up that strength and improving the stride length and flexibility.
That's wonderful. I have to say, having had a much older horse who passed away a few years ago, one of my favorite things to do with him that I obviously couldn't do as often as I'd like was take him to the beach and walk him through the salt water for the exercise, because it wasn't as much impact as being on the trail, and it was good for him and it helped his legs. Not something you can do every day with your horse, but this certainly is, right?
This you can, and it's controlled exercise in straight lines with the water. So it's a very all-round good machine.
Excellent. Anything final you'd like to add?
Our support is excellent. So, which is always, if I was buying, investing in one of these, I'd want to know that it's well supported.
Yeah.
So support is really crucial, and the training is really crucial. So I think, I
full
think
training on how to use it, and then follow up with the maintenance.
Exactly, with the support and also, ongoing training.
Wonderful. And your website, Equine Therapy INT?
EquineTherapyINT.com.
Lovely. For more information, that's where you're going to go. Serena Hickson here at AAEP with Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. EquineTherapyINT.com. I so enjoyed meeting Serena at the AAEP convention, being invited to the booth, hanging out with them. That treadmill is really off the charts. That's everything that you want for rehab. If you can have one at your farm, or if you know someone that has a rehab center that needs a new treadmill, I would highly recommend that and all their other products that we're going to be introducing you to over the upcoming weeks. And we welcome them as a prior sponsor that was with us before and is back with us now, and they're actually our first international sponsor. So that makes us feel special, doesn't
we
it?
Special.
All the way over in England.
We are special.
And Betsy doesn't know it yet, but when we make it back to England, we'll be going for a visit with Serena and her team, because they're lovely people and they'll love Betsy. So we did a segment with Dr. Solomon here on her amazing products and her new product that we're very excited about, but she also golfs.
Oh, geez. Started about a year ago, and it's quite addictive for sure.
Really?
Yes.
Mixing that with the horses.
My poor horses are kind of, well, they're probably enjoying the time off, actually.
So when you want to get out of the lab and take a break, you get to go out there and do a little simulation, practice your golf,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it's set up conveniently right outside, so makes it easy.
Well, we're going to switch things up real quick. I think we've got time for Neil's tip in the end of this segment. No, we don't have time for Neil's tip, so that'll be in the next segment coming up when we're going to wrap up things for today. Of course, we'll have Pete, Dancing Pete Roder's Horsemanship Tip of the Week. We'll have Pat Meyer's Tip of the Week, Neil's Tip of the Week, a quick mention for the Children's Charity Classic, and then we're going to wrap the show up. So stay with us for this last exciting segment. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of the second half of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet. And our television broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms. Thank you also to our supporting sponsors, Equine Performance Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifencer Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, The Green Pharmacist, Horse Vans, Royal Blessing Rescue, and MV Equestrian LLC. Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, also online at ttdistributors.com.
Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe for all your current barn needs.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hello, I'm Chris Cox, and you're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Roder.
This is Dr. Nathalie Solomon, the Green Pharmacist, and we are switching things up now to Dancing Pete Roder's Tip of the Week.
Dancing Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship. This tip is sponsored by WildlifeWorksLLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal. Thanks again for Wildlife Works. We really appreciate you getting rid of the critters we don't want at our farms.
That's right.
Today's tip of the week is focus. So there's two types of focuses. There's a physical focus and a mental focus. So I've seen riders that have no physical focus, but mentally they're like, I'm riding, I'm doing whatever I want to do. And I've seen the riders that have a good focus, but mentally they're, I wonder what I'm going to eat tomorrow. And then, so you got to have both. And focus gives you feel. And focus and feel give you timing. So a lot of people try to teach you timing. Without focus, you can't have feel. So you won't feel the feet when you should have the right timing to move your horse's leg. So you got to have focus first, then the feel of it, and then that gives you the timing. And when you're getting those timings, you're going to do it too early, you're going to do it too late, and then just find just right. So that's my tip of the week.
There it is. And if you have a horse, you have at least one dog. I'm quite sure of that. Here's our dog expert, Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch.
The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch. Having your dog ride in the back of a pickup truck, unless unsecured, is not really a smart thing to do. It's reported that 100,000 dogs a year die in America because of either falling out of the pickup trucks or getting hit by flying debris. If they're in the back of the pickup truck unrestrained and you get into an accident, they could get hurt, or worse, they could run off from the accident, and then you've got to try and find your dog. Put them in a crate. Don't tie them in the back of the bed with some string, because if they jump out, they can hang themselves or get dragged along the side of the pickup truck. They're your best friend. Let's take care of them. Let's put them in a crate when they ride in the back of a pickup truck, or put them in the cab with you. Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch.
Please do not do it. I cannot stand it in the traffic when I see dogs in the back of trucks. And if you want to learn more from Neil and all his brilliant dog tricks, you need to be at the Live Oak International event so you can see the dock diving, meet Neil, ask him all sorts of questions, and our expert in the world of being an electrician. Who's that?
Pat Myers.
At Pat Myers Electric, we're constantly training to be our absolute best.
For all your current barn needs. Hey there, Pat with Pat Myers Electric, the spark of Ocala, here with your tip of the week, keeping your horses and homes happy and safe. So today I want to speak about breakers. Now this is a common call we get all the time. A breaker trips and people are beside themselves. They think the whole place is burning down because the breaker tripped, when in actuality, that breaker tripping is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's keeping things safe before there's a bigger problem. Now, taking care of that breaker means when it flips off, you turn it all the way to the off position, then all the way back to the on position to reset it. Now, after you've done that, you need to contact a licensed electrician to find out what happened and why that breaker tripped. For more help, call Pat Myers Electric, serving all your current needs.
So what we've got coming for you soon in the next week or so is going to be some amazing little bits from the Children's Charity Classic that was at HITS. We're going to show you a little bit of footage now, but we're actually going to have a recap coming up for you in just a week or so from an absolutely amazing events for 10 children's charities put on by United Way. Absolutely amazing show jumping event at HITS. All the people that got involved in this to raise $100,000 is amazing, and what I love about it is the fact that it really brought the non-horse world, United Way, and all of those children's charities that were not horse related together with the horse world, and it brought an incredible opportunity to get the community out at HITS, watching show jumping, seeing the professional, amateur,
and they
had
costumes. I mean, how cool can that be?
They had a character. They had a book assigned to each team so they could dress as the characters. So well done, and hats off to them. We're also going to have some interesting interviews and bits from Larson Hayes Customer Appreciation Days that were this weekend as well. There was a lot going on in the horse capital of the world this weekend. There always is. So we're going to have all of that coming up in the next couple of weeks as we're working away. Kylie Mabe, who both her and Isaac were there Friday for the Children's Charity Classic, and between them they managed to cover the the Larson Customer Appreciation Days as well. So well done to them for their support, helping me through a very difficult time. And I'm very, very grateful that they both were able to step in and be me. So that's not always an easy job.
No, it's not.
No. So we'll have those recaps for you coming up. I kept this to the end of the show because, you know, we've been doing this show for almost 12 years. And honestly, I realized, I guess, with everybody that's commented on my father's passing recently, a lot of people have commented on how incredible conversations they had with my father. And he passed away on February 13th. And when I first met you, you thought I had a teleprompter. And I don't have a teleprompter. I have my dad in me. So you don't need a teleprompter. Because my dad had the gift of the gab. And tribute to him, I just want to say, you know, he grew up in England long, long, long time ago. He was 89 when he passed a couple weeks ago. And this was a little guy that carried a gas mask and had to run into bomb shelters as a child on his way to school during the Second World War. Came home sometimes to find a bomb gone off in his backyard. It was quite a life. He grew up at the old mill in Baggington. Betsy and I visited there recently. And he had a lot of attributes. He started out as a pig farmer, and that's how he started his own business. And then he had a boat business. He was a famous boat racer. He did the 6-hour Paris run many times and won many, many trophies. He won many, many trophies throughout his life for multiple economic development things that he did in South Florida when we moved to America. He started the Horizon Council and really drove the economy in South Florida to what it is today. He was credited for that, and he was an amazing man. He wore a cowboy hat the whole time that he lived in America. You rarely ever see him without a cowboy hat on, and always a shooting stick. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It sticks in the ground to keep you stable, folds out like a seat. You sit in it, and he used to follow me on the fox hunt in the Land Rover and sit perched on a shooting stick and watch the fox outfox us all. And then later on would tell some of the greatest stories in the whole world about watching the fox. He was much smarter than any of us out on the fox hunt, and he used to love to tell those stories. He drove extremely fast in his Triumph Stag. 140 miles an hour was quite the norm. He liked the speed. And later in his life, he was a farmer again. And he had Dexter cattle out in Fort McCoy. And he loved to farm. And he loved the outdoors. He loved the sea. He loved to go fast. Up till very recently, he had a Corvette that he did about 120 on I-75 in. He was...
Wow.
And I'm a bit of a chip off the old block, you know. And I'm grateful to him for so many things, for loving me, for unconditional love, for being the most Christ-like man throughout his whole life that I ever knew or ever met. And I miss him. So help me keep it together. And in closing, I'm just going to say that not all superheroes wear capes. Some of them wear cowboy hats and carry shooting sticks. And that was my dad, David Allen Barton. 89 years old, God bless him, may he rest. And all those trophies he won were pretty amazing, but the crown in heaven is the biggest of all. Thank you, Dad. We're going to wrap it up, whether you're in Ocala, Marion County or not.
Happy horsing around.
Till the same time next week.